Hi, in today's guide, I'll be showing you how to build a semantic model over your data that is natively in Databricks and use Databricks Genie to converse with your data and ask business questions. So let's get started. Now, in the previous video, we worked with local CSV files, built a semantic layer on local CSV files, and then push them as tables to Databricks. In this demo, we'll be working with the tables that are natively inside the Databricks Unity catalog. So here I am in my workspace. I have my notebook open. Now I've loaded a data set, a tech manufacturing data set. You can find it here. So this is about 20 tables, as you can see. So I'll be working with this data set. Now, in order to use this, you also have to set up a profiles.yaml where you specify what is the catalog and what is the schema that you want to work with in this particular format. All right, so let's get started. Make sure you set up your environment as well. So I've set the Intugle Databricks as a dependency, and I've chosen environment version 3 here, Python 3.12, and go ahead and click apply. Great. Now, Intugle uses a lot of AI agents under the hood, so you have to set up your API keys. You can check out the documentation on how to do this. I'll be loading mine from the .env file right here. Great. So let's get to the heart of the module, building the semantic model. So first, I'm going to just define my data sets. This is just all the names of the data set, and this is how I'm mapping it. It's just a dictionary mapping the names to this particular path. Identifier is the name of the table in Databricks Unity catalog. So once I have the data sets, now I'm going to import the semantic model from Intugle. I'm going to pass in the data sets and I'm going to pass in a domain as well. Now, the domain is what helps the LLM generate contextual business glossaries for your data. So let's go ahead and run these. So what happens behind the scenes is that a bunch of AI agents start profiling your data. They identify data types, they predict the relationships between tables, and they also generate glossaries for your data. So let's give it a couple of minutes. Great. Now that it's done, let's head down and let's access this semantic model. Let's pick out one particular table called products and let's see what the semantic model looks like. So we have all the column names right here. We have what was the data types that were identified for each column. Was it a dimension or a measure? We have business glossaries. We have business tags. We have some profiling metrics and some sample data. Great. Now we can also see the links by accessing the dot links property of the semantic model. So these are all the predicted links. So you can take a look here. It's a list of predicted dataset objects. We have from dataset from column going to dataset to column. Now you can also visualize this in a nice knowledge graph. So you can see what all tables are linked to each other. Great. Now the semantic layer is actually stored as YAML files, which you can access it through the models directory here. We have a YAML file for each table and the relationships are actually stored in this YAML file, relationships.yaml. Now the fun part. Let's sync our semantic model with the Databricks Unity catalog. So we have a convenient function here called deploy. Let's go ahead and call this and give it a couple of minutes. Great. Now that it's done, let's switch over to our Unity catalog. So I have this open and let's go to the products table. As you can see all the columns here. There is a description for the table right here. We have the columns with the descriptions. We have all the tags synced as well. Let's check out the orders table. Now what's neat is there's a view relationships here and you can click this and see What are the foreign links being linked to this orders table from different tables? It's a very cool feature in Databricks. All right. So that's how easy it is using Intugle to go from raw data to a connected semantic model and then sync that to your Databricks Unity catalog. Now let's head back and move on to data product creation. Now we created a semantic model. Now what are some of the ways we can consume from this semantic model? Intugle offers a data product module where you can create data products without any complex SQL or writing explicit joins. You just declare what is the data product that you want by specifying the fields that you want, and Intugle handles the rest for you. So let's see how. So here I have a customer KPI summary. So I'm just picking out different columns from different tables here. As you can see, table.column, and some of them are aggregate columns as well. So I'm picking out all these columns. This is my specification, data product specification. So let's just run that. Now I head down. I import the data product library from Intugle, and I'm passing in this specification. Now let's just run this and see what happens. Now in behind the scenes, what happens is Intugle constructs a SQL query for this particular specification, and it executes this using Databricks compute. And as you can see, we have the results here. Nice. And if you head back to your catalog and just refresh the page, you can see now there is a customer KPI summary with all the columns that you defined. And you can look at the sample data. All right. That's nice. Now, what's really cool about Databricks is if you switch to the lineage page, you can see the lineage graph, and you can see what tables were used to derive this particular data products. So all of these are the different tables that were used to derive this data product. Pretty cool. Now you can see the query that was associated with the data product as well. So you can use a .sql query, and you can see this was the query that was used to create the data product. Now, you can also enrich this data product, meaning the same AI agents that profile the data generated glossaries, you can apply the same thing for your data product as well using the .run function. So let's give it a couple of minutes. All right, now that it's done, you can see the column names here. You can see what are the data types identified, the business glossaries, tags, some profiling metrics, and the sample data. Cool. Now let's do the same thing again and deploy this to the Databricks Unity catalog. Let's sync our glossaries and tags to our customer KPI table. And you can see we have the glossaries updated and for all the columns as well, along with the tags. Great. Now comes the exciting part. We've created a semantic model using Intugle and enriched all of our data. Now let's use Databricks AI BI Genie to converse and ask business questions on this dataset. So let's head over to Genie. You have a Genie tab right here. And let's create a new space. And let's choose tech manufacturing. And let's choose all the tables here. All right, let's click create. And let's start our warehouse. So these are all the data sets in the space. Now you can ask questions on your data. So let's go ahead and ask a simple question. What are our best selling products by sales volume and revenue? So it's picking out the tables. So as you can see, all of this data is from our semantic model. All right, so here is our answer. We have the product name, the total sales volume, and the total sales revenue. And we have a nice graph here as well. And you can show the code here to see what query was executed. You can see that Databricks, the AIBI Genie has picked out the orders table, the products table, and it has joined it. All right. Let's try a second question, a little more complicated. Who are our most profitable customers when considering their entire life cycle, including purchase history, renewals, and cost of support? All right, so we have a customer name, we have net profit, and we have a nice graph here as well. Now, let's see what the code looks like. So these are the tables it decided to choose. You can see that right here in the joins, and you can also see what it understood by your question. So it's writing down the assumption here. All right, so this is very cool. So now why does this work so well? It works well because we used Intugle to generate a semantic model enriched with business glossaries and relationships. So if you head here and you open a particular table, you can see all the columns with the descriptions. And if you head back and you go to instructions and you go to joins, you can see all the relationships that were synced to the Unity catalog with Intugle. So AIBI Genie is using this information to construct these queries to answer your questions. Now that is very cool. That is very powerful. So to conclude, we saw how we can use Intugle to auto-generate a semantic model from your raw data and push this to Databricks Unity catalog, which then enables you to easily converse over your data using Databricks Genie. So this is very powerful and it's a very exciting way to talk to your data. And Intugle accelerates this process. So thanks for watching. Join our Discord community if you have any questions and check out Intugle.